Hi, I'm Natalie from Yogadreads. I'm here to help you look at a short recovery session to use after you've taken your session. So this is really a warm down. So rather than just stopping the body, this is a nice way to ease your body into a release of tension after you've worked out. So we're going to start with a sitting movement. So you find a comfortable seat. If it's more comfortable, you can sit on a block to begin with, just perching your seat bones off the edge of it, or you can sit on the floor. If cross-legged doesn't work for you either, then you can come to this space here, which is maybe a bit softer for the knees and the hips. So I'm going to sit in Sukhasana, which is lining up your pubic bone, your ankle bone and your ankle bone, allowing a nice wide spread for your knees, a nice softening for opening your hips. We're just going to start by giving ourselves a moment to check in and count, and we'll just count 5 breaths. But if you want to, this is a nice time to use the Focus 12 that's on one of the other videos you can check out. But at the same time, we'll go through 5 breaths. So find a comfortable resting space for your hands. Your knees is a good place to sit them. It releases the shoulders. And take a breath in through the torso. Try and drop your shoulder blades down your back. And it's useful to close your eyes just for a second. If you can keep them closed, start to notice the length of your first inhale and exhale. And then try and balance out that. So the inhale becomes the same length as the exhale. So it might be useful to count. So maybe try with a count of 4 or 5. Inhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just finding that pattern to repeat. And your third breath. Inhaling. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling. 2, 3, 4, 5. And again inhaling. 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhaling. 2, 3, 4, 5. And just take one more counting your breath yourself. Slowly, when you're ready, opening your eyes and just connecting your hands together. And start by interlacing your fingers. So find a nice even lock with your fingers. And as you inhale, extend the arms up, reaching up, and then let the head tilt up, look up. Exhale, keep the hands there, drop the chin down to the chest. Inhale, extending up, find length through the front of the body. Exhale, keep the space through the shoulders, dropping the chin to the chest. And again, inhale, lengthening up, pushing through the palms, exhaling, drawing the chin to the chest. And then find a neutral space, and on your next inhale, find a lengthening and lift. And as you exhale this time, bring your hands and just place them behind your neck, bring your elbows together and drop your chin to your chest, and really push your spine away from you. So in towards the back of the room or your mat, and inhale, all the way back up, look for length. And then exhale, bring the hands forward and broaden the back of the shoulders. Inhale, coming in, hands to chest. And then inhale again, lengthen back up. And exhale, taking your hand down, so connecting the right palm to the floor, reaching the left arm over the head and looking into your armpit. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, take your gaze to your fingertips. And you might be on fingertips, don't overstretch. Inhale, come back up, find your extension. And again, exhaling. So if you're not finding your way down to a flat hand, just work with fingertips, reaching over. Inhale, look into your armpit. Exhale, gaze drifting to the fingertips. So find whatever depth your body allows. Keep your seat bones evenly grounding. Inhale, come back up. Extending. And this time looking for a little rotation. So just bringing your hand to your knee and turn the back of your hand, so the left hand crossing over the outside of the right knee, put the right hand behind you on the floor. Inhale, grow tall, so there's a real lift through the front of the body. Keep both seat bones grounding and turn to look over your right shoulder, so rotating round. Take an extra breath here, find a bit more height, and on the exhale, find a little more rotation. Try not to lean back. Inhale, extend up. And take the same on the other side. So now the right hand's going to cross over the outside of the left knee. The fingertips on the floor behind you. Find your length through your ribs, spine, and exhale, rotate. Inhale, growing tall. Exhale, gazing over your left shoulder. And then inhale, coming back up, find your extension. And exhale, release the hands wide and come forward onto your hands and knees. So place your hands on the floor and find your way into your hands and knees. And it doesn't matter how you do it, you can sweep the legs around to the side, but you're just finding an even spacing as you find this stacked position. Shoulders directly over elbows, directly over wrists. So try not to be leaning forward. Find this nice alignment. And if you can, slightly soften the elbows to support the wrists so that you're not overworking the wrists. And equally your knees underneath your hips and your knees hip width apart. So as you look through your legs, you almost want to say that you can't see your feet, they're obscured by your thighs. And then we're looking for a neutral space, so try not to tuck or tilt too much, just find a length in the spine. And then from here, very gently, start to reach forward with the ribs, allow the lower back to drop as the tailbone lifts, and start to pull the shoulders back as you lift the head. Keep space between the shoulders and ears. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone and push up through the spine, relaxing the back of the neck as the head drops down. Inhale, find the length in the front of the torso. Again, ribs drawing forward, tailbone tilting, shoulders pulling back, chin lifting. Exhale, reversing that movement, so tucking the head in, dropping the tailbone down, pushing the spine to the ceiling, and relaxing the neck. Inhale, one more, finding that length through the front of the body. And exhale, rounding in. And then find your way back to your neutral space. So again, just finding alignment. And from here, gently start to think about your hips staying level, but extend your right leg out behind you. So you don't want to lift it too high, you're looking for it to be as much as you can in line with your torso. And then exhale, rounding in, bring your head in, try and connect your knee to your head or anywhere that it finds as a movement towards each other. So don't worry if it doesn't connect, but you're just trying to work in. It might be that you end up here, that's fine. Just keep your breath nice and steady. So just 3 of these movements. And then on your third one, keep your length and extend forward with the left arm. So you're really reaching out and now drawing both in at the same time. So rounding and try and keep space in the shoulder blades. So you're really pushing through your connecting hand into the floor. Great. And really drawing in, so you're tucking into the ribs. And 3 of the same movement. So then on the last one, keep your length, inhale, extend out. And you can bend your back leg and draw your arm behind you and just look for a reach. If there's room, you can try and connect to the toes, maybe the foot or the ankle, and have a little lift if you find a connection. If you're not connecting, just keep reaching back and slowly coming back down. Take the same on the other side. So nice and stable with the broadness between the shoulders, connection through your hands, and extend up with the left leg. Again, look for that leg to be in line with the torso so you can check by looking back. If it's reaching up too high, just round it in. Exhaling, drawing in. Inhaling, extension, reaching out. Exhaling and inhaling. And one more of the same movement. Try and keep an even pressure between your hands. So if you feel like you're tilting, just try and find an even connection, shifting your weight, balancing out. Inhaling, extend forward with the right arm. Exhaling, rounding in. Inhaling for extension and exhaling, tucking in. And then again, last one, really reaching and exhaling as you round in. And then keep the extension on the next one. So look for your length. Again, bending and drawing the arm back. So working through your shoulders. And again, if you find a connection, toes, foot or ankle, if you need to check that, Just have a little look if you're not sure where your foot is, and then find a lift if you connected. Don't overwork it. The back should remain soft. Just a few breaths, and releasing when you feel ready. Hand to the floor and bring your knee down. And just from here, sink back, so child's pose. And at any time as you're moving through this small session, if you feel like the body is uncomfortable, then stop and rest in child's pose and join back in when it feels comfortable. Rest your head down. You have two child's pose. You can have extending through the shoulders, or holding on to the feet and resting the head down. And just count 3 to 5 breaths. Just let the body settle. And use this to help give you space across the back and shoulders. When you're ready, connect your palms back into the floor and push back up. And now tilt your toes so they connect into the floor. This is done with one exhale. You're going to push into down dog, but don't overwork the hamstrings. So as you exhale up with the hips, stay on your tiptoes if you need to and keep your knees bent. If you can straighten the legs and draw back, working into your full down dog, that's great, but stay where the body's comfortable. If you feel as though your weight is on the hands, try really bending the knees and pushing the ribs to the thighs, and then keeping this extension from your wrists up to your hips. Work the legs only. So it might be that you don't have straight legs in down dog, but you're not loading the weight forward. Okay, so you're pushing back. Just have a little moment here maybe to bend one leg and then the other. So you're kind of checking in on how that feels in the hamstrings and the hips. And then as you inhale, lift the head, look forward and walk the feet gently forward. So not too far, just allowing yourself to find an even space. So it may be that the body wants to stop here. Okay, doesn't matter how far you go. Relax the head, exhale, and then hold on to your elbows. And just let yourself hang, almost like you're suspending yourself from your hips. And when you're ready, inhale, coming all the way up. And you can bring your arms up with you, reach them over the head. Let the head come up last so the neck stays soft. And then exhale, bringing your hands back to your side. So you've arrived in standing. You need to shed a layer here. If you're layered up, then take an extra layer off. So we're going to move through this, like I said, at any time. As the pace picks up a little, then rest in down dog or come down into child's pose. Inhale, draw the arms up and look for extension. Exhale, forward fold, connect the hands to the floor, relax the head, and again bend the knees if you need to. Have the hands further forward than the feet if it feels too tight on the hamstrings. Inhale, lift the head, look forward and lean into your hands. Exhale, step the feet back and lower down. So we're going to drop our knees, our hips and our chest. Inhale, we're going to come to cobra. Point the toes and lift the ribs. Exhale, come back down. Bring the hands under the shoulders, turn the toes into the floor and come up onto your knees. And then extend up into your down dog wherever that sits. And just give yourself 5 breaths here. So it's 1. Look towards your navel. 2. Keep reaching the fingers out wide into the mat. 3. Relaxing the neck. 4. And 5. Lift the head, look forward. Come onto your tiptoes. Shift the shoulders forward and then bring the feet through to find their way as close to the hands as you can. Exhale, relax the head. Inhale, coming all the way back up, bring the arms over the head and look to the thumbs. Exhale, hands back to your side. Inhale, drawing back up, find that length through the body. Lift the head last. Exhale, draw the head in, bring the hands down to the floor, connect your hands firmly into the mat. So knees are bent if you need to, hands are in front of the feet if you need to. Lengthen the ribs, inhale. Exhale, step the feet back, one at a time. And lower down. So before we went all the way to the floor. So if you want to, you can drop your knees now and lower down with your ribs. Keep your hips connected, hips lifting, ribs lifting. If you need to, let them connect. If you want to stay here, connecting to the floor, and find Cobra, then work Cobra. If your body feels as though it has a little more movement in the back, you can push up with the arms and forward with the feet. Keep the elbows soft into your up dog. Keep your knees down wherever you are. Drop the knees, turn the toes, and come back in towards your down dog. And just taking 3 breaths this time, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhale, exhale. Lifting your head, look forward. This time bring your right leg up and tuck your right knee into your ribs and shift the weight forward. Keep pushing up through the shoulders. If it feels too strong, you can tiptoe the foot down to give you a bit of extra support, but try and find that lift. And then push back. Inhale, extend the leg back up. And then exhaling, shifting through. Remember, touch down if it feels too strong. Inhale to come back up. Exhaling, coming in. Inhaling, coming back up, and this time as you exhale, come through and bring the foot down. You can drop the back knee. If the foot won't come through, so if you're stuck here, take hold of your ankle and pick your foot up, bringing it through, and drop the back knee, okay? Give yourself a hand. Just resting on your fingertips. Really feel like there's a reaching forward through the ribs and the shoulder blades are pulling back, so avoid this kind of rounding. Look for space in the front of the body. And then from here, ground into your right hand and open up, lift up. So you're looking for space between your right wrist and your left wrist, the whole front of your body opening. And your knee is there just to give you support in the shoulder so you don't overwork your right shoulder and rotator cuff. Exhale, looking down, connect the hand back down, and we're going to swap. So this time you're going to ground your left hand into the floor and take your right arm up and look for the same extension on the other side. The back toes are really connecting into the mat to give you a real grip. So there's a real earthing through the back leg. Exhaling, coming down, and then stepping straight back into your high plank. So lift the back leg and bring yourself back, find high plank. Drop your knees. If you feel ready, you can lower down all the way to the floor, or you can hover. If you're lowering all the way to the floor, come into Cobra. If you're hovering, push up with the arms, gently forward with the feet, bent elbows, and lift the heart. Drop the knees, tilt the toes, come into down dog. Just adjust your feet if you need to, and extend your left leg up to the ceiling. Tuck your knee into your chest and shift your shoulder weight forward. And then exhaling, coming back. Look for extension. You can look under the body and see if you can see your toes. And then tuck in again, come forward. Exhaling back. And again, tucking the knee in, coming forward. Remember, if you need to touch the foot down, touch the foot down. And exhale to go back. This time as we come through, we're going to bring the foot all the way through, or you're going to stop where the body allows you to and bring your foot through. Drop your back knee. Just find that resting space here, kind of squaring everything up. So if you feel like you've gone a bit wonky and you're not aligned, then think about shoulders stacking evenly over wrists. The knee is over the ankle. The back foot's connected to the floor, and so is the back knee. Shoulder blades pulling down the back, ribs lifting forward. You're going to ground into your right hand, so off the fingertips, flat hand, and open up through, lengthening one side of the body. Nice and steady, so we're rotating. And then exhaling down and work the other side. Hands back to the floor. Come onto your fingertips if you need to square up before you move your back leg, so just lifting the heart, grounding through, and lift the front leg and the back leg to find your way into your down dog. And from here, drop down to your knees, point your toes, sink your hips down low, and rest down in child's pose. Inhale, look forward, bring the hands forward. Come back up onto your knees and tilt your toes into the mat. So that connection through the back feet. And then as you find your next exhale, pushing the hips back up into down dog. Remember, bent knees if you need to in down dog. Take the ribs towards the thighs, lifting the hips. Inhale, lift the head, look forward, and bring your right foot forward. Again, if your right foot isn't happy to go forward, give it a hand, just moving the body forward with the leg. Come onto your fingertips and extend the back leg. So don't drop the knee, keep the knee lifting and lift the ribs. From here, inhale, come up and draw the arms up. Just take a breath, working so the back leg's taking the extension. Try not to overcurve the lumbar, so slightly tucking. You'll feel an extension on the front of your hips, or your hip flexors, or your psoas. And then when you're ready, come up tall and exhale, drop the back heel. Open the arms wide, so we're just looking to 3 to 5 breaths in each static posture. Try not to be too high. Roughly you want the knee over the ankle and the hips moving down to the body, so you create a right angle here. Nice and steady, you can bring your elbow down to your knee and draw your arm over your head. If your shoulders feel particularly tight, you can keep your hand resting on the side of your body so you don't pinch through the shoulders. So whatever feels comfortable. Inhale, coming back up, straighten the right leg. Reach, try and touch whatever's in front of you, so kind of set your gaze and reach out, and then let the hands come down. So you're looking for Trikonasana. If this feels comfortable, you can deepen it, but try not to fold forward. So it's an extension out to find the toes. The goal isn't really to find the toes, but to find the length in the posture. So if in finding the toes, you've kind of rolled forward, imagine you're trapped between 2 panes of glass, so the body is in line. And then look down. Try and keep a connection in your back foot, but bend your front knee. Use your thigh to pull you up. And we're just going to twist this all the way around. Come onto your tiptoes on the back foot. Drop the hips and reach up. Look for your length. So again, try not to overcurve the lumbar. Look to tilt the tailbone down so the front of the thigh gets the extension. The back is working to give you some support. Front thigh is in line, parallel to the bottom of to the mat, so that you create this right angle. And then slowly find a lengthening up and open out wide, but try and keep the same dynamic you had in that front leg. So the back heel's now grounding, arms reaching out. If your arms are starting to ache, you can rest your hands on your hips. Give yourself a break if you need to. And then when you're ready, you're kind of having a cartwheel action. So the elbow comes down, palm facing up, and draw your right arm over your head, or keep it connected to your body to soften the shoulders. So whatever feels nice. If you're taking your arm over your head, you can tilt your gaze into your armpit and then just drift the gaze to the fingertips. Keep the back of the neck long. And then look down. So coming up, using your thigh to extend you up, and look for your extension out, so reaching. Remember that, looking for that imaginary point, but don't fold forward. So really extending out and then coming down. And again, this may be more comfortable in this sort of connection rather than all the way down the leg. So just find your space. And then look down. Bend the knee. Using the thigh, bring yourself up. You're going to turn all the way back round and cartwheel the hands down to the floor. And exhale, step the foot back. Lower down, so dropping knees, hips and chest, and bringing the arms forward. So coming into cobra, find that opening through the middle of the back and the shoulders, working the legs in the mat so they're not lifting, and pushing down through the tops of the feet. Exhale, lower down. Move the hands underneath the shoulders, tilt the toes, lift the hips, and come into your down dog. And from your down dog, you're going to cross the feet through to sitting. So some people like to jump here, but we're just going to step it today, make it nice and easy. Cross one foot over, so right foot towards left hand, and then left foot towards right hand, and sit down. So there's a nice easy step forward. If that still feels horrible on the hips, because sometimes the hips don't give you much room, then you can just be crossing right back, walk the hands back, sit down. So find your way to the floor. If it doesn't look perfect, it doesn't matter. So as you arrive in sitting, just finding yourself into a comfortable position to lay down as we work into some back bending. So as you lay the body down back, look for a connection through your feet, your hips, your shoulders and your head. Back bending is front stretching. So we're really going to work to extend the front of the body, but the strength of this posture is found in your legs. So look here to be working your legs. You can place a block between your legs or a pillow just to allow you to squeeze into something without moving the legs to get your legs really engaging. You can do the same just by imagining there's something there, kind of working the thighs inwardly rotating. So the feet stay grounding, the elbows push, or the back of the arms push into the mat, the elbows bend, and have your fingertips facing the ceiling. These are my robot arms. So keep them nice as a solid structure. And when you're ready, inhaling, and as you exhale, ground through the feet and lift up to a neutral space. So you're looking, so that as you look down the body, you can see through to your knees or your navel. And then start to find the curve of the back by lifting the mid ribs. So drawing up with the ribs and bringing the chest towards the chin as you push down through the arms. Feet really engaging, thighs moving towards each other without moving. So that sensation of squeezing. We've already done 3 breaths. So that's 4. And 5, dropping the hips down. Bring the knees into the chest. So you're looking to hug the body. So draw the knees in, wrap your arms around the legs, and just look for a rock or roll on the spine, softening the back. Prepare to take your next one. The same movement again, arms push down, feet grounding, legs level but thighs engaged. Lift the hips, find a neutral space for the spine, and then start to extend up through the ribs, lifting the lower back and the upper back. Chest moving towards chin, keep your gaze to the ceiling, the neck nice and long. 2 more breaths. And your last breath, as you find your exhale, drop the hips back down and hug the knees into the chest. So 1 and then the other. Again, find whatever feels good. If you want to cross your feet to broaden the knees, you might find it nicer on the hips. And again, last one. So feet grounding, hip width apart, elbows bent, back of the arms connecting to the mat. Tilt the pubic bone towards the navel slightly to extend the lower back and push up. And when you're ready, feel like there's a lift in the ribs as you draw the chest towards the chin. Shoulders and arms connecting firmly to the mat. Grounding through the big toe, that's 3. 4, keep the thighs engaged. Last breath, and exhale down. So you should feel the thighs working. A little sensation of engagement. Cross the ankles again if it feels nice, and roll and rock on the back. And then from here, it doesn't matter which way around you do this, you can either interlace the right leg or the left leg. I just want you to work as a little rock up to connect with your abdominals, flex the foot and rock your way up to sitting. Okay, it's a nice easy way to find your way up. I'm going to work into a movement called Shasana before we come down into our Shavasana or our relaxation. So Shasana means headstand, but this really isn't a headstand. What we're going to look is to find the engagement through this posture of a forearm stand. It's misnamed. So this forearm stand is about you working your shoulder girdle and finding your lift up so the neck doesn't get compressed. So rather than taking the full posture, we're going to work a training exercise to really help you build into that strength as well as gain the flexibility. So you're going to start by coming onto your hands and knees. And the movement you're looking for to begin with is that you're going to hold on to your elbows. So this is your spacing here. And once you've found that spacing for your body, don't move your elbows. So the temptation is to move your arms out. So keep the elbows grounded and just bring the hands out and interlace the fingers. The head is going to come down into the space between the hands. So the head connects down and come onto your tiptoes and lift up. Now the head is pushing down. What I want you to do straight away is engage the navel. You might need to bend the knees and push back, lift the head and look at your fingers. So your head is off the floor, you're holding this through your shoulders. So rather than dumping down, push up. If you can get your legs straight, straighten your legs. If not, keep them bent to support that the hamstrings don't overwork. You've already held 3 breaths, so only 2 more. And then on your next exhale, drop the head down. Try and keep the knees lifted if you can. Now be cautious here, don't overstep. Take a tiny step forward. The smallest step makes the biggest difference. So don't think about a big leap in, just a small step forward. And again, lift the head, look forward. So you're starting to shift your weight further and further over your arms. So increasing the amount of work you're doing through your shoulders whilst keeping them broad and finding space. And if it feels too strong, just come down when you've had enough. You've only got 1 more breath if you're holding for 5. Exhaling, head down. Again, last one, so a tiny step in, and inhale, come up. So this is your last one, and come down if you've had enough, and this feels like the arms have done enough work. But if you feel confident and comfortable and you want to be fully inverted, we're going to look for a small inversion, so not overdoing it. You can keep your hands where they are, but just drop your knees and note your little finger that's on the floor and tuck it into your palm. Okay, so as the weight increases over your hands, your little finger that's on the bottom is going to be tucked into the middle of the palm. So as you look at your palm, the little finger's tucked in here. Head comes back down, lift the legs up. This time, if you're stacking right, you can just walk in and slowly lift your feet. And just look for this comfortably cross-legged position. Don't think about coming all the way up. Just see if you can hold this here. Good. 2 more breaths if you're holding. And slowly exhale down. Try to make sure when you do this you don't kick. Come into child's pose and relax. Take a few breaths in child's pose. Just let the body really soften. It's important when you're playing with these not to kick. Kicking means you created momentum, and momentum doesn't stop when it finds balance. It stops when it finds another flat surface to connect to, and that's normally the floor in front of you. So you can take this to a wall and do it there if you want to play with it a bit more. So from here we're going to come back to finding our sitting, counting 5 breaths, or again if you are doing the focus 12, have a look at the other video, you can connect this to the end of your practice. We'll take 5 breaths. And find you a comfortable seat, so whatever that was before, again if you want a bolster or a cushion to sit on, or if you want to take the legs to the side, or even if the legs feel more comfortable sat here or here, whatever feels like your back can find extension and your hips aren't overworking. And close your eyes. Slow your breathing down. And then start to count your way through 5 breaths at your own time. Even paced breathing. Counting each inhale and each exhale as 1. Try and relax the face. On every exhale, soften the shoulders a little more. And as you find your last exhale, just opening your eyes and extend yourself down to the mat. And take a gentle Shavasana. So you can lay here for as long as feels comfortable. I recommend 5 minutes minimum. Just let the body settle. after you've taken your 5 to 10 minutes or however long you needed Shavasana, just gently find your way up to sitting. And as you find sitting, before you move off your mat, just take another few breaths and let the body really soften. So don't rush away from Shavasana. Allow it to be something you kind of arrive your way out of. And when you feel ready, carry on with the rest of your day.